Hello and welcome back to another video. Just had the old joystick outside and give it a good sand down. So everything's nice and smooth now. Cleaned up any of the marks that were on here. So it's ready for some clear varnish. I'm just going to pop down the hardware store and get some of that. I just want to show you before I do that it's not actually perfect. I really did knock this up during my tea break. As you can see, some big gaps, and also a bit of a tip here: if you are using raw oak, be very cautious of PVA glue, because if you leave it on here and let it sink into the grain, it takes quite an amount of sanding to get off. So I would recommend, if you do use it to glue things together like this, get some fairy liquid and a sponge, they're slightly damp, and just give it a good rub down and dry off. But as I say, I just sort of rushed this together. So I'm a little bit concerned I've put the stick a bit too far to the left. It's kind of difficult because I didn't want a massive box. It just, it's awkward to store, and also I didn't want my hands to feel like they weren't, sat a fair distance apart. I didn't want them to have an impact on where my shoulders were, because I find on some joysticks your hands are very cramped together and it kind of feels unnatural. So as I say, I'm just going to go and get some clear varnish for this. Probably just before that I'll have a quick go on my miniature Tate setup here that I got the old Roadstar back out the loft last night. Thought we'd have a little bit of satin action, and this is what I mean really about the joystick. I find it's just too close together. Your hands, they're not at a natural position, I don't find. So as much as I love the Virtual Stick, I've sort of made my joystick based upon the Dreamcast specifications. I've not downloaded any sheets or anything like that, any sort of plans, but yeah, I thought I'd put this Tate setup together so I can sit here and have a little game whilst not ignoring everybody else. So that's it, let's go to the shops. So here we are, back in business. Got myself some interior varnish. So before I start, I'm just going to say to anybody who's thinking of making one of these, don't be deceived into believing it's a cheap alternative to buying a joystick, because it really isn't. I don't even want to think about how much money I've spent on this joystick now, including electrical parts and solder, crimps, crimping tools, wire cutters, varnish, the buttons, the stick. You could almost buy any arcade stick you wanted at this point. So yeah, let's get it varnished and see how it comes out. So here we are, we've got the first coat on. What a fancy little drying rack I've assembled here, and it does recommend 3 coats, so I should think this is going to take up the best part of my day. So here we are, and we've finally got the joystick wired up. It was fairly simple, to be honest. The hardest part was removing the wire from the joypad's PCB to get it through that hole there at the back, but managed to achieve that with a minimum of fuss. And there we go, stuck a couple of LED lights in as well for a little bit of effect from the 5-volt feed. So I'll just stick the top back on and just show you what it looks like when it's fully assembled. So there we go, we've got the top on, got the full glow, nice bit of green there, may well change the colour in the future. Also comes out the back button there, the start. Actually, this is the second top I've made. I've moved this along 10mm. I've seen a few layouts recently that look like you'd probably dislocate your shoulder if you was to pull a super move, but to each their own, I guess. I've certainly not gone to any sort of plan, just based this upon Dreamcast, and this would be the top buttons. Obviously there would be another 3 there, but it just feels right for me. That's why I've done it like that. But let me just turn off the lights. Showing this in full effect. There we go. A nice little glow. So that's pretty much it for the arcade project, I think. Certainly wasn't cheap to do this. It certainly wasn't quick or easy, but it was a project that I've greatly enjoyed doing. And if you like doing things with your hands, I'd probably recommend giving it a go. I'm considering making one for the Xbox 360 now, actually, a wireless one, but we'll see what happens in the future. So that's it for now. Thank you for watching. Hopefully I'll load some more videos soon.